Well, hello, CEOs. Welcome to the Early Childhood Business Made Easy podcast. I am Kelly Peak, and I am so grateful that you are here. And I am hoping that I can help you find some more of that time, freedom, and profit you so deserve. Now, for many of you who lead an early childhood business, I get it. I know how mornings can be. They can be often very overwhelming. You are already putting out fires before you even arrive. You know those days. Your lead team member, maybe your teacher or party coordinator just texted that they're sick. A parent is already at the front desk waiting for you, asking about your refund policy, something you've explained 100 times, but apparently never wrote down. And your assistant director, well, she's texting you questions about afternoon snack procedures, and you haven't even unlocked the front door yet. Now, this does not have to be your daily reality where everything lives in your head. Every process depends on you, and you have to be there to explain it. Every decision requires your input because there's no system telling anyone what to do next. If this is your reality, then I get it. I know you are exhausted, not just physically, but mentally. Because operating a business where nothing is documented, well, that means you're constantly switching context, answering the same questions, and you're firefighting instead of leading. Now, here's what I've learned the hard way in my 30 years of operating early childhood businesses. The chaos, it isn't because you're bad at your job. It's because you're trying to hold an entire operation in your head while also being the person who executes everything. That, my friend, is just not sustainable, and it's definitely not scalable. You are told to create standard operating procedures for everything, document every single process, build those comprehensive manuals. But here's the problem. You don't have time to create 47-page procedure manuals that no one's going to read. You need simple strategic systems that actually get used, not manuals on a computer that no one can get to or those sitting on a shelf collecting dust. Here's what I've discovered. The programs that operate with calm and consistency, they aren't documenting everything. They're strategically systemizing the right things, the workflows that matter most, the processes that create the biggest bottlenecks, and the tasks that absolutely must happen the same way every time. They have figured out to boil it down to the key, most important things. So today, I'm going to break down the 3 strategies for operational clarity. Number 1, analyze your operations workflow. You're going to identify every task you're doing and you're going to determine what's actually necessary. Number 2, systemize strategically. I want you to document only what needs consistently and we're going to eliminate what doesn't. And number 3, organize for efficiency. So create physical and digital systems, whichever works best for you, that support execution, not chaos. Now, if this is in your head, it's not a system. Confident early childhood operators don't try to document everything. They strategically systematize what matters most. When you analyze your operations workflow to identify what to automate, delegate, or eliminate, you don't just reduce chaos. You create a business that operates smoothly without requiring your constant presence. That, my friend, is the time freedom lifestyle that I'm always talking about. Now, let me show you exactly what happens when everything stays in your head. So last year, I worked with Jessica. She operates a 45-child preschool. She had been in business for 8 years, and she prided herself on being the person who knew everything. She was the walking encyclopedia of her program. Every policy, every procedure, every parent preference. Then she got the flu. And this is not just a cold. I mean the actual flu that knocked her out for a week. Now, her assistant director at the time, who she'd been training for 2 years, she completely fell apart. Not because she wasn't competent, but because Jessica never really documented anything. And that assistant didn't know where to find the enrollment forms. She didn't know the refund policy. She couldn't figure out the billing process. Every decision required a text to Jessica, who was literally delirious with fever trying to keep her business from imploding. Now, that week cost Jessica 3 enrolled families who lost confidence when simple questions couldn't be answered. It also cost her assistant director. She quit 2 weeks later, saying that she just could not handle the stress of not having clear systems. And it cost Jessica her health because instead of resting, she spent that week managing crisis from her bed. Now, when we calculated the actual costs, lost tuition, recruitment costs for a new assistant, the families who didn't enroll because word got out about the chaos, that 1 week cost her business over $18,000. Now, this wasn't a unique emergency. This was a preview of what would happen anytime she wasn't there. A vacation, that wasn't going to happen. A family emergency, Wow, what would happen then? Or worse, what would happen if she actually wanted to step back and lead her business instead of being trapped inside of it? Now, the chaos wasn't the flu's fault. It was the result of 8 years of keeping everything in her head instead of building systems. Now, after Jessica implemented the operations workflow analyzer that we taught her in Shine, she systemized her key processes. Something remarkable happened after that. She took a 2-week vacation. Yes, a 2-week vacation, her first real time off in 8 years. Now, her business didn't just survive without her, it actually ran a little smoother because her team finally had clear systems to follow instead of constantly interrupting her, and they felt more leadership themselves. Now, this isn't just one story. Research from the Harvard Business Review found that businesses with documented systems and processes, well, they experience 30% higher employee performance and 25% less operational chaos. But here's what makes this crucial for early childhood businesses. Unlike other industries where someone can figure things out through trial and error, when you work in a licensing restricted business, ratio dependent, every process involves children's safety and parents' trust. You don't have room for guesswork. CEOs who understand this don't wait for a crisis to build systems. They systematize proactively as a business growth strategy. And that's what we're going to dive into today. We're going to start with strategy number 1. Analyze your operations workflow, the brain dump that changes everything. Here's the problem. You are doing 100 different tasks every day, but you have no idea which one is actually moving your business forward and which one is just busy work you've been doing because you've always done them. That's going to be manager or director thinking, reacting to whatever shows up instead of strategically choosing where to invest your time. Now, CEOs thinking, a CEO mindset, well, that's a completely different approach. CEOs analyze their operations workflow to get crystal clear on what they're actually doing, what's necessary, and what can be automated, delegated, or eliminated entirely. This creates space for high-level strategic work that actually is going to grow your business. This connects directly for those of you in our Shine mentorship with Efficient Operations Profit Booster in the Preschool Business Blueprint course. When you systematize your operations strategically, you free up mental bandwidth and actual hours to focus on other profit boosters, building your team, attracting more families, optimizing services. Everything compounds when your operations aren't consuming all your energy. Your time is constrained by ratios and regulations. You cannot just hustle harder or work smarter if you're still drowning in operational minutia. You have to ruthlessly eliminate what doesn't serve your business, and you have to systematize what does. Otherwise, you are going to stay trapped on that hamster wheel forever, my friend. So here's how you analyze your workflow. Action step number 1, do a complete brain dump of every task you perform daily, weekly, and monthly. And I mean everything from unlocking the door in the morning to processing payroll to answering parent emails to ordering supplies. Spend some time just listing all of this out. Don't worry about organizing it yet. Just get it out of your head and get it onto paper. Then you can go grab the operations planning worksheet at kellypeak.com where you're going to find information on episode 172. That I want you to use as a guide. It's just a template. It's just a start. Start organizing your tasks. Again, this is just a starting point. You're going to have way more to organize than what's on this worksheet, but this worksheet is going to give you the idea. Now, for a smaller program with 1 or 2 team members, you might just have 40 tasks. For a larger program with multiple classrooms or party areas, you could have 80 to 100 tasks when you really need to break down. But here's the thing. Most operators have never actually seen their full task list written out. You're operating on autopilot, reacting to whatever's urgent, what needs your attention most, without ever stepping back to see the full picture. This exercise alone is going to show you tasks you've been doing for years that literally no one would notice if you stopped. I had a client once who had been manually updating a parent bulletin board every Monday. She did this for 5 years. So when I talked to her about that and I challenged her to stop doing it, she did. And guess what happened? Not one parent mentioned it. Not one. So you really want to be clear on what is most important. Okay, action step number 2, I want you to analyze each task through 4 critical filters. So go through your brain dump list and for each task, ask yourself, is this actually needed? Can I create an SOP for it? Can it be automated? Can it be delegated? Mark yes or no, or maybe a question mark for each category. Now, this may take some time, but it is going to be the most valuable time you spend this month because what you're doing is moving from reactive chaos to strategic clarity about where your time should actually go. Now, here's how this looks in practice. Take, for example, tuition and billing. Is it needed? Yes. Can you create an SOP? Absolutely. The steps should be the same every month. Can it be automated? Probably. Really depends on your billing software, but you definitely can put in some reoccurring charges, I'm guessing. Can it be delegated? Definitely. This does not require your CEO level thinking. So tuition billing gets marked needed, yes. SOP, yes. Automated, yes. Delegate, yes. That task just moved off your plate entirely, my friend. Now compare that to strategic planning for your next quarter. Is it needed? Yes. Can you create an SOP? Sort of. There is a framework for strategic planning, but it requires CEO level thinking. Can it be automated? No. Can it be delegated? No. This is literally your job as the CEO. So that task stays with you. So now you have some clarity that this is where your time should be invested. Now, the goal isn't to document every single thing. It's to gain clarity on what actually deserves your attention and what needs to get off your plate entirely. This is how you move from director or manager trapped in the weeds to CEO actually leading your business. Strategy number 2, you're going to systematize strategically. So this means document what matters and skip what doesn't. So once you've analyzed your workflow, here's the problem. Most managers and directors make the mistake of trying to document everything. They create a massive procedure manual. They detail all the checklists, comprehensive training binders that their team may or may not open because it's kind of overwhelming and impractical. CEOs understand that systematizing it's not about perfection. It's just about consistency where it counts. You document the processes that absolutely must happen the same way every time, and you keep it simple enough so people actually use it. Now remember, you're not manufacturing widgets on an assembly line. You are working with children and families, which requires both structure and flexibility. Over systematizing, that's going to kill the human element that makes your program special. And under systematizing, well, that's going to create chaos. So the sweet spot is systematizing the right things. So here's how you decide what to systematize. Action step number 1. Look at your analyzed workflow and identify the 3 critical categories. So our 3 critical categories are safety and compliance, anything involving licensing, health, or child safety, money movement, this is billing, enrollment contracts, refunds, etc., and team consistency, onboarding, communication protocols, daily routines, expectations, etc. So these are non-negotiables. If these processes vary every time someone does them, you create risk, confusion, and lost revenue. So let me give you a specific example. So for a 30-child preschool, for example, your critical 3 might include morning health checks, that's for safety, enrollment paperwork process, your money and compliance, and classroom transition routines for your team. That could be team consistency. For a play cafe, it might be party booking process, which is your money, allergen protocols, which is safety, and opening and closing procedures, which is your team consistency. If you're an enrichment program, it might be registration and payment collection, which is money, emergency procedures, which is safety, and weekly class setup, again, team consistency. So next, you're going to create simple visual SOPs for these critical 3 categories. And when I say simple, I mean it. Not 10-page documents, not complicated flowcharts and checklists. You are creating a 1-page instruction that answers what needs to happen, who does it, when does it happen, what tools are needed. That's it. You can use the Operation Systemizer worksheet to template this out. That is, again, if you are in our Shine mentorship program, that is in the Preschool Business Blueprint Module 5. Now, here's a real example from Peak Academy. So our morning SOP, when we open, is literally 6 steps. Number 1, unlock the door at 7:50 a.m. Number 2, turn on the classroom lights and music. Number 3, check daily attendance sheet. Number 4, prep morning snack station. Number 5, review any parent notes from the previous day. Number 6, the front desk is ready to go. And that's it. No elaborate explanation, just clear steps that anyone can follow. Now on to action step number 2. I want you to implement what I call action capture. So instead of writing detailed instructions, which can throw you off, or if you don't have time for it, I want you to instead record a quick video or voice memo of you doing the process once. So grab your phone, hit record, and just talk through what you're doing as you do it. Okay, I'm opening up the billing software. I'm clicking on reoccurring charges. I'm selecting this month's date range. I'm reviewing the list to make sure that everyone's included, and done. You have a 5-minute video. That's it. It's done. That is your SOP, and your team can watch it once and know exactly what to do, or you can upload it into ChatGPT and you can have it create a written SOP for you, and that's easier to read, whatever is easy for you and your team. Now, this is exactly what we teach again in Module 5 of the Preschool Business Blueprint, how to systematize operations without over-complicating or underserving your team. So the key is strategic simplicity. Document enough for consistency, but don't feel you have to do so much and go so over the top that no one actually uses it. Now, this moves us on to strategy number 3, organize for efficiency, where things live and how to find them. So here's the final piece that most directors and managers miss. You've analyzed your workflow, you've systematized your critical 3, but if no one can find the systems when they need them, you are back in chaos. That is manager thinking, creating processes and hoping people figure out where everything lives. CEOs, confident early childhood operators, they organize both their physical and their digital environments with intention. So the execution is effortless. When someone needs the enrollment form, they know exactly where it is. When the billing SOP needs to be referenced, it takes 5 seconds to find it. When supplies run low, there's a clear system for reordering. Now, you do not need to buy fancy organizational systems. You do not need to color code everything, and you do not need elaborate filing structures. You don't have the team or the time to maintain all of that. You need a super simple organization system that actually survives the chaos of daily operations. So here's how you're going to organize strategically. Action step number 1, create 3 digital homes. So this is daily operations. This could be a Google Drive or a Dropbox folder. Team resources. Again, this is a shared folder everyone can access, and your CEO's strategic private workspace. So again, those are 3 spaces. Now, we use Google Drive. We found it to be so helpful and so easy. Anyone can use it from anywhere. If they're on an iPad in a classroom, if they're at the front desk, if they're working from home for that day for whatever reason, anyone can access the Google Drive. And so we have it set up in that way. Now, let me show you what this actually looks like. So daily operations folder, that's going to contain your enrollment templates, your billing procedures, your daily schedules, parent communication templates. Your team resources folder is going to have your classroom SOPs, your party SOPs, maybe your activity SOPs, your emergency procedures, team calendars, shopping lists, etc. Your CEO strategic folder, that's your financial planning. That's your marketing strategies, your quarterly goals, your team performance notes. So when someone needs something, they know which of these 3 folders to check. For physical organization, you're going to use the same logic. Create 3 physical zones in your office, at the front, and admin space, wherever you think it would make the most sense. So you have your active files. These are the things you need every single week. You have your reference files. These are the things you kind of need occasionally. And you have your archive, the old stuff that you just need to keep for compliance. We literally have 2 baskets in the back of an office because we have to keep things for 2 years. We take that basket. At the end of the year, we dump one and we move the other one to year 2, and then we have an empty basket for the new year. It literally just rotates itself. So simple. Now, I want you to use a simple labeling system. So just markers. You don't need a fancy system. The goal is function. It doesn't have to be Pinterest perfect aesthetics. Now, if you are really into that and that excites you, then go for it. But the most important thing is I just want you to have it done. Action step number 2, I want you to implement what I call the 5-second rule. If someone on your team can't find what they need in 5 seconds, then your organization system has failed. Walk through your most common processes and time how long it takes to locate each component. Your enrollment form should take 5 seconds or less. Your billing SOP, 5 seconds. Your supply order form, 5 seconds. If anything takes longer, reorganize it until it doesn't. Now, here's what that looks like practically. At Play Boutique, we have a physical party binder at the front desk. It contains the booking form, food allergy protocol, party timeline and checklist, and decoration inventory list. That's it. When someone books a party, everything they need is in one place, organized in the exact order they're going to use it. No hunting through file cabinets, no asking me where things are. It's 5-second access. Now, organization, my friend, it's not about perfection. It's about reducing the cognitive load. Every second your team spends hunting for information is a second they are not serving your families or doing their actual job. When you organize for efficiency, you eliminate friction and you create space for what actually matters. So let's bring this all together. Today, we've moved from operational chaos, where everything lives in your head, to strategic systems that create calm and consistency. When you analyze your operations workflow to identify what's necessary, when you systematize the critical three that must happen consistently, and when you organize your environment for effortless execution, my friend, you're not just reducing daily fires, you are fundamentally shifting from a director or a manager trapped in the weeds to a CEO actually leading your business. This is how you build a program that operates smoothly, whether you are there or not. Okay, my friend, it is time for our manifestation minute. It's time to get calm, find a place that you can just create some peace, and imagine this. 3 months from now, you're taking a long weekend, not checking your phone, not looking at it every hour, not fielding emergency texts, not worrying that everything will fall apart without you because you've built systems that work. Your team knows exactly what to do. Everything they need is organized and accessible. And your business, it's operating smoothly, maybe even better than when you were micromanaging every detail. This is not a fantasy. This is what happens when you get operations out of your head and into simple strategic systems. Now, here's what you're going to do next. I want you to grab that operations planning worksheet at kellypeak.com. We're going to find information about episode 172. And I want you to start spending some time really thinking about all the tasks that you're doing. Get them out of your head and onto paper, and then use that worksheet as a guide to help you organize things. Now, for those of you in our Shine Mentorship Program, if you want that complete system for efficient operations, including the 90-day CEO action plan that's going to help you prioritize what matters most, the complete SOP templates for every critical process, and the step-by-step organization roadmap, that is in Module 5 of the Preschool Business Blueprint. And if you miss CEO Coaching Week, but still want hands-on support building these systems specifically for your program, our Shine Mentorship is going to give you monthly training plus live coaching to implement these strategies with accountability. You can learn more about that at kellypeak.com. Here's what I want you to remember. Your business does not have to feel chaotic. The overwhelm you're experiencing isn't because you're doing something wrong. It's because you're trying to hold an entire operation in your head while also executing everything. That's impossible, my friend, and it is so unnecessary. When you build simple systems that create consistency where it counts, you free yourself to do the CEO level work your business actually needs. You do strategic planning, team development, growth initiatives, the work that can't be systematized because it requires your unique vision and your leadership. If it's in your head, it's not a system. But when you get it out of your head and into strategic, simple processes that your team can actually use, that, my friend, is when everything changes. Now, you've got this. Go build some systems. Take care, and I'll see you next week.